Yeah. But I like when I look at it, like when I go back over the years, like there was a point in my life when I used to lie to fit in when I was younger, and I think
Yes.
that's one of my lowest points in my life that I can think of. But I was a kid, and so I give myself grace for that. But that's why it's so hard to get me to go against or say things that I don't believe in.
So your how'd you end up making it yesterday?
Well, I did realize that we didn't record yesterday morning, so it's already recording now. Well,
We
that's
never we never recorded yesterday.
no, we never hit record.
You know
So
what? It's cool.
that's the second one that I found that we haven't recorded, I think. Well, no, the first one was on the 10th, and it says it recorded, but I can't download it, so I'm still trying to figure out that one yet. But no, yesterday was fine. It was, I think and so it didn't take 10 hours round trip. It only took 7, so
Nice.
I was able to get out of there a little bit earlier than I thought I would. And I went home. I went and bought a pair of boots because
Really?
I've been putting it off, and like my work boot, the bottom's coming off of it, the toe is blown out of it, and like they were still intact, like they looked brand new. They had just been used so much that like they were just separating at all the connecting points, and I was just like whatever. So I went and bought a pair of pretty nice work boots and took the wife out to breakfast. We went and had I went and had a bowl of menudo, and she had some tacos and stuff. Weekend food's good. And then honestly, I went to sleep for probably 6 hours.
Nice.
And then she wanted to go get some that Italian ice. And she was like,
Ah,
"Yeah, I was sitting there looking at you, like hoping you would feel me looking at you, so we could go." I was just like, "Yeah, no, I was definitely tired, but
yeah.
it was a good day. Nothing like I like pulling into places and blocking all of the traffic so I could do what I need to do. And it makes me laugh. I don't know why it does. It's like, aha, yeah, no, take up the whole road.
It's That's cool. It's just the ego having fun. It's all good.
Yeah, it
Every,
is.
it is. It is. I'm bigger than you. You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
Fuck you. And
yeah. Like
everybody's gonna go, oh, oh.
they don't even honk. Like it's just like, oh crap. Yeah, because there's literally nothing you can do.
Hey, you can't. There's no point in hawking. So
So, but no, yesterday was cool. Then grilled some steaks and just chilled out, watched the unit, and edited this and put one up. I got it uploaded. I don't know what time it finished uploading. I need to put it in the cloud so you can grab it too. And then I'll work on a couple a day. Just keep on knocking it through. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I posted something on social media yesterday, and it's like infuriated everybody that doesn't talk to me. Anyways, it's like, oh, you're not with Kamala Harris, and I'm just like, dude, I don't even talk to you. Like, what?
what?
Why do you care? Like, vote for who you're gonna vote for. Like, they've insulted my
Yeah.
faith. They've insulted my intelligence. It's like you guys are freaking hilarious. It was like I literally haven't talked to any of you guys since like high school. I graduated from high school 24 years ago, and you think that I value your opinion? Are you serious? This is what I believe. This is why I believe it, and just leave it at that. You feel free to keep it moving, buddy. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to vote for what I vote for, and if you don't like it, kick rocks. I don't care. It's crazy. So
I don't understand how come. I can't. I used to get a little excited, you know, And then I started realizing, it's like, is there anything I can do about it?
Not
No,
a thing.
absolutely not. So I completely learned. It took me a while to learn now. Like I used to have a short fuse and get upset, but pretty much anything. And until finally, literally, I was taught. That's the only way I was taught to stop and think before I react, before I say anything. You know, it's helped me with my marriage. It's helped me with fucking a whole bunch of shit. But what I'm saying is, if can I fucking do anything about it? And if my answer is just a yes or no question,
It really
fucking
is.
float a flow chart, right? Is the thing that's bothering me right now? Can I do anything about it? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then I go straight down the fucking Z and go back to sleep, dude. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Fuck it. It is what it
Oh,
is.
it
And
really is.
just fucking move the fuck on and control the things that I can control. Worry about the things I can control. And can I control what you do? Daniel, can I control what you do? Don't scratch your fucking leg. Why are you scratching your leg? Don't scratch your leg. Dude, I can't control what you do. I can't control what anybody else does. I can't control my own fucking kids. I can't control my wife. I can only
Um,
control what I do, what I can do. So if I can only control what I can do, then I better best fucking make sure that nobody else can say anything about me before me.
mm,
Because if I'm also worried about what everybody else is going to say, then I'm also worried, about that I must not be worried about me because I must be perfect, right? Cast the first stone before you do yourself. Come on,
yeah, yeah.
it's yeah,
No, it's a thing now. So don't really understand it, but and that's another
uh,
thing with people judging other people. Like I just the whole judgment thing. Like I'm not God. I I've I've done things that other people haven't done. So we sin in different ways. So that's how I
uh-huh.
look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just no like, oh, how dare you do that? You're a piece of crap. Like, dude, like when nobody was looking and when you did those things that you knew you weren't supposed to do, like what makes you think that it doesn't make you any better than just because you haven't got caught yet? And I think
Well, you said it yourself. I mean, come on. If you really have something, listen. If you really like, it just throws back at me. It's like, and tell the truth always. If you have nothing to fear, and tell the truth, because that way, if you want to have nothing to fear, tell the truth. If you want nothing to fear, always control and just look after yourself.
Hmm.
And I promise you, everything else will just step in. Will just flow course. It'll be smooth process. It really is. If you just fucking listen.
Yeah. Oh, and so it's also like you're saying what you believe to be true is, and you don't break integrity with yourself because that's where it really gets
Yes.
issues. Um, telling believing what somebody is telling you that you know not to be true, and then regurgitating that is detrimental to your psychology, in my opinion. So that's why, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm just like, hey, yeah. But like when I look at it, like when I go back over the years, like there was a point in my life when I used to lie to fit in when I was younger, and I think
Yes.
that's one of my lowest points in my life that I can think of. But I was a kid, and so I give myself grace for that. But that's why it's so hard to get me to go against or say things that I don't believe in. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't agree with that, and this is why. But 9 times out of 10, I can tell you why I don't agree with it. It's not just a feeling. So, um, yeah, that whole personal integrity, personal accountability, like it's all wrapped up into the same pieces of character that are so important in how we like. personally define ourselves. That's why people don't have self-confidence, because they don't have the ability to stand up and say what they believe.
That also goes with everything else that we were talking about the other day, as far as, just different programming, I can't speak today. The different programming, the different programming that literally that we're feeding ourselves. So it just literally goes right back to that.
Yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out.
And that's the thing too. If you're looking at something that is false, but you have no clue it's false, and that's what you've been just consuming nonstop, mainstream media, then that's what you'll fight tooth and nail for something that's 100% propaganda and meant to make you think a certain way, to act a certain way, to be programmed to do what they want you to do. And it's just it's very clear when you start talking to somebody that has been watching that program, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Like, yeah, don't be. It's okay. Like even the conversations that I've had with my parents, where it's like, well, I can tell where you watch that. What do you mean? It's like, yeah, you should turn off CNN, my friend. Like, I love you, but that is not good for you. Like, what are you talking about? It's the news. I was like, no, it's not. That is a organization that is built to push an agenda.
One of the worst fights that I've had in my with my wife and with my father-in-law. The fight was actually with my father-in-law. My wife was just basically a byproduct of fucking Hiroshima. So I was walking right past. Everybody was here in my house, and they were at the dinner table. And we had a main, it was like lunchtime, but we had a big ass lunch, and everybody was here. And I just walked by, and this was at the time, a couple of years back, when it was mandatory to do some certain things and so forth. So there was my father-in-law made a comment about protecting the kids. And as I was walking by, and I said, "Whoa." And I turned around and I came back and I'm listening. And I'm like, huh? And I noticed that they kind of changed subjects. And I was like, wait, it's cool. Did you just say that did you just tell your own daughter, my wife, to go and do something to our kids? No. No. And, and then the argument kind of, I was like, no. And then he starts like, but because he's doing it out of love too, misinformation, but he's doing it out of love. So he's like, this motherfucker, so here we are, two grown ass men charging at each other, thinking that they got the fucking right, point. And it's just basically see, who's got the bigger dick. Well, just you're in my house, motherfucker. So, and it just blew up. It was bad, I felt horrible instantly as soon as he left, because he ended up leaving, and then of course I got the wrath of Kong with on this side, because of, my wife and so forth, and that one also, that was like the second dropping right there, boom. It was horrible, and it was all because of exactly what you just said. Because I believe my last words to him, I was like, if you would stop watching TV and educate yourself a little bit more, something like that, where kind of, because I never cussed, you know what I mean, but it was more on the disrespect type feel.
Right.
Yeah, I felt horrible instantly, and then I called him afterwards. He didn't pick up. Called him the next day. Didn't pick up. Called him for 2 weeks straight. Never picked up. And he never came back in our house for about 6 months, right? Finally, when he came to the house, I hugged him and I kissed him. I said, Papi, thank you for coming. I'm sorry. It's okay. So, but yeah, dude, it took 6 months for that one to heal, you
Mm.
know? And it's all because of exactly what you just said, misinformation and propaganda and programming. And it's horrible. It's destroying families. It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. When they make you go left, right, up, down, black, white, yeah, I don't like that shit.
Yeah. No, we had a pretty good time when with all that stuff going on because I didn't take a vaccine. I didn't believe in wearing a mask, but I would wear it around old people because I thought that I was helping them out. And I was like, I'm not putting that
Cool.
in my body. I have autoimmune disorders. I don't know how my body's going to react to it. I think I'll wait for some more like data to come in. And like
Mm-hmm.
we were going through IVF at that time, and the doctor wouldn't let me go into the office with my wife because I
Yeah.
would take that jab. And and I still think that's really messed up. And even my primary care, she was like, "You really need to get it," and I was like, "Yeah, it's just not going to happen." And she was like, "Well, you put alcohol in your body." I was like, "Yeah, you're right, I do." I was like, and that's been around for I don't know how many hundreds of years, but that's probably a little bit different than some man-made thing in the lab that I have no clue like what it's going to do. And she's like, "Well, you still need to get it." And I was like, "Look," I was like, "You bring it up again, I'm just going to find a different doctor." And she never brought it up again. And then now years later, and it's just like, oh, huh. Like, I'm really glad that I stuck with my convictions about it, and you know, not knowing enough about it to be able to make an informed decision and just not doing it
Yeah.
because it's crazy.
I it is. It really, 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 really is.
It's
Um,
sad.
it is true. I didn't get it either. Uh, the only one in my house who ended up getting it was my wife. She got one and never went back. Um, it's just so unfortunate how other countries, for example, like in Colombia, if you didn't get it, you don't eat. Like they
Mm-hmm.
they stopped everything. You couldn't go back to work. Like they said straight up, show me it. You want to go back to work? Okay, show me show me your thing. Yeah,
They're
it was
trying to get to
horrible.
that point here. They tried to do it in
They
a lot
did
of places.
they did it in
Uh,
Australia. Didn't Australia create fucking compounds?
yeah, they had quarantine camps. So I mean, it was a pretty close line to concentration camps,
That's
uh,
exactly what that is. Can you
and
imagine that shit?
it's insane. That's
And you
that's
know
a
what? We are due for one right now here in the States.
there's so monkeypox is the one they're pushing right now. They did the what was the other one? They're saying I believe the bird flu is affecting the cows, and they're trying to yeah they're paying ranchers to or they were a couple months ago they were paying ranchers to test their cattle. So they're just like running through the different, and I think the World Health Organization actually just issued an alert like earlier this week about that. And it's just like, I was like, here we go again. Like, it's an election year. So we'll have everything, they'll be shaking the jar.
Listen, they're gonna do anything and everything and everything. If one side comes on, our recession is gonna fucking go bananas. If the other side comes on, our recession is gonna go bananas, and like it's gonna be like like World War III. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. We're fucked for a little bit. We just gotta do our best
Yeah.
not to affect this.
That's
You know,
Yeah, look,
It's
I can
just the
only control
cycle.
what I do. So,
Exactly. It's nothing that I can't control it. I can't control what the market does. I can't control. I can only control what I can do. So,
well,
so I'm out to just keep living just keep chugging along, keep living my little bubble, worrying about my little fucking social problems. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. I
uh,
really don't.
yeah,
I really don't.
it's a good time. It really is. It's a good time. So let's see here. So, what did you end up doing yesterday? I know you got to spend some time with your lovely wife finally after being
Oh,
gone
you
for a
have
week.
no idea. Yeah, I know. It was just I, I am I am blessed beyond measure. I know that for a fact. Um, so after an amazing night in the morning, I we went. My little nephew was turning 14,
Yep.
and we went paintballing. So I went out there, and no, there was no adults. It was only the kids. And then I show up, and I'm looking at all the other adults, and I was like, "Yo, is nobody else going?" Oh no, 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 we're too. I was like, "Dude, come on, fuck it, I gotta go."
It's
Come on,
so fun.
we're gonna go. Fuck, listen, you get to shoot your son in the head, please. I want to shoot my son in the head. I want to shoot your son in the head. It's like I'm gonna hurt some kids. I this is. I was granted permission by the gods to shoot my kids.
That's
Okay,
hilarious.
yes, I'm gonna go. You better believe it. And everybody was like in shock. And even them, listen, it was just my nephew and his two little best friends. Those were the only kids that were there. Because even my son was working yesterday and my daughter was working. So she couldn't go. But it was like every time they come over my house, like, hey, Uncle Ness, can I grab the BB gun? Hey, Uncle Ness, can I grab the bow? Hey, Uncle Ness, can you show me another gun? I was like, no, dude. It's like, but I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Like, why not? So of course we're gonna go fucking play paintball. And I got my boots on, and they're like, "You're coming." I'm like, "You better believe it." Not only that though, but I got a picture. I'll put it on my Facebook thing. So I actually had Ratatouille like guiding me. So he was standing like this, holding my hair, and I'm over there going, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." I'm shooting.
No.
Yeah, dude, I'm shooting fucking everybody. I'm over there, and I'm running towards them, and I'm like, bah, bah, and they were like, okay, 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 and it was just like they were more afraid of. They weren't advancing, and even when the very first game, I was the first one out. Right?
Mm,
Got a, I got a couple kids, but I was the first one out. The second game, ended up getting all the kids because I realized they're not going to run at you. They have no balls. They're
they're
all
just
scared.
scared.
Like, oh my god, I'm just hiding, dude. I was like, get shot,
Yeah.
get paint out of the way, and just go. And I'm just running and just shooting, and I had a blast. And then something happened. I hurt my fucking my hip. It on the left side, and I'm still hurting a little bit. I haven't taken any, but it's like just stiff and as I started getting colder, I noticed I was stiffer, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So
Mm,
maybe I tweaked myself wrong.
mm,
Um, but that's other than that, dude. That was my Sunday. I
nice.
got to shoot them for a little bit. Came back home, spend the time with mom. I mean, listen, there is like my story with that woman is amazing. I love my story with her. She's fantastic. I'm surprised she's still with me. I am blessed that she is still here, you know. And I will do. It's the typical story, you know. Boy meets girl, boy fall for girl, you know. Uh, Boy and girl get married. Boy breaks her heart. boy says, I'm gonna love you till forever, and that's it. You know,
Mm.
happily ever after. Like, you know, realizing his faults and his like, how are you here? You know what I mean? And then just trying to do better every day of his life for her. That's basically the story of my life.
Mm. Yeah, no. I'm, I think the good thing is that you actually realized, like, holy crap, what am I doing? Like,
Oh, it's not. It's not listening to it, and it's not fun facing your
mm,
demons. Like when you have
mm,
to face your, like when you really face your own demons, like when you really go in and you really open that box and go, this is really me. And you really open up and you, it's a beautiful thing. It
mm,
really is. It really is when you learn to have that connection with your partner, with your spouse. When you, I mean, I didn't have it for such a long time because I didn't know about it until when I found it. I said, I never want to leave this place.
mm,
I don't understand. It's just, it's true. It's true. It's true. I got to a point where I don't just see her. I feel her. I read her thoughts. She knows exactly what's in my thoughts at all times. I can literally be hundreds of miles away and just have a thought, and I'll get a phone call 2 seconds later. It's just, I'm telling you,
that's crazy.
there's something about when you totally open your heart, no lies, open your heart, and just let her in. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. I used to be the most machoest cocksucker ever. Latin, you know, that bullshit macho is. And I'm surprised. And I am blessed that she's still here, dude.
Mm.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, watching your demeanor on the that Bradley podcast, because I was watching that and then looking at your demeanor now, you're an entirely different person. Like, which is so crazy. Like your speech pattern, your temperament, everything's different than. Well, it was like I was watching it, and I was like, huh. I was like, this doesn't even seem like the same man.
It's
That's like I guess the power of growth over those years. How long ago was that interview?
believe it or not, actually that interview was done on December of 21.
Okay,
No, of 20.
20.
Wait, wait. It was the first year of the bid.
Okay,
So
the
so
19 or
20,
20.
20 then. Was it first year?
You look healthier.
I was fucking fat.
You look so much healthier. Uh,
This motherfucker. I was
um,
fucking fat. No, dude. No. Listen, I was following the footsteps of my father unconditioned,
it's cognitive.
unconsciously.
Got you.
Unconsciously, I was following my dad's footsteps, dude. And unfortunately, my dad was he had his virtues, you know, but yeah, that's not one life you fucking want to envy. That's yeah, I had to make a change, and
Mm,
but my change wasn't it wasn't accidental either though,
mm-hmm.
you know. It wasn't accidental. I was trying to find something in me. I was trying to find, this is before my dad passed away. I was actually like just trying to find answers. And I learned that, how do I say this? I kept hearing, you know, and especially coming from my wife, and it's like, like, yeah, you have to go back and have regressions or something like that. I was like, I didn't understand what you were talking about. It's like, what do you mean, like past lives? And you know what I mean? I knew what reincarnation was, and I've heard of all these things, but and I was raised Catholic. You know what I mean? So it's and being raised Catholic, you have your things and this and that. So you have certain ideas uh, as far as religion based, but on the aspects of spirituality, I had no fucking clue. I really did not, and I didn't understand how really asleep people are, because you would think they're awake, but the problem is that once I got woken up, and I think that's the best way to say it. It's like I'm more self conscious, and because I'm more into self. I promise you, I can't be your friend if I don't if I know that I exist. I have to know that I exist. I have to know of everything and anything about myself. If I don't, you know what I mean? Like if I can't face my own demons, my own dragons, my own truths, you know, if I can't face them, honor them, then I am good to nobody, because that means I'm not just believing my own bullshit. That means I'm fucking crazy, because I have to be self-conscious. I have to know, yes, I am sitting here in this home. I have to know exactly what my position is, what my hat is, and there's nobody else. There's nobody else. Daniel, yeah, we come to this world butt ass naked, not knowing what the fuck is going on, which way is up. We just know that here we are. And then at the end of the time, after we're finished baking, then they take us out, then we're done. Right? Then we're dying. That little space is that little our life in itself. When you learn exactly what really matters in that space, when you learn to really value what really is in that little space, that's the only time that you can be a higher self. That's the only time that you can actually, I believe that once you awaken and you realize that, like I said, I've said this 1,000 times, there's nobody else but you at fault. That's it. And for anything and everything that you do or that happens to you, it's 100% your fault. You organize your thoughts. You organize your patterns. You're the one who is leading you to the fucking puddle. If you want to drink the water, you are the one who has to drink the water. You're leading yourself. You are anything and everything that you need to be has to start from you. We can't. We're so force fed that we can't lift a finger without our fucking neighbor, and we need somebody else's help. And I'm not gonna go to the gym because I don't have a fucking I don't know what to do, and I don't have. Just go and do it. Just go. But I'm just talking about, it's always somebody else's motherfucking fault.
Right.
Always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault that I beat my kids, right? Because they pissed me off, right? No, nigga. That's not the way things work. Bullshit. Right. Bullshit. I get emotional when I talk about this, dude, because I used to be that motherfucker. And it hurts me to even think about the fucking man that I thought I was. It really did. Everything changed. Fortunately, I met you after. But when I realized that, and I made a vow, I really did. I made a vow that she's giving me the best 27 years of her life. This year has been 27 years, but 3 years ago. So, what was that, 20, 24? Let's say 24, 25 years I made a vow. Literally, I did. I said, I told her, I was like, you brought me to this point. You actually created me. Somehow, some way, you envisioned me. And I promise you, I will be your Prince Charming.
Hmm.
That's it. That's the only thing I could have done. If you, I know that she'll have her tantrums once in a while because, of course, she's a woman. She's got feelings, and she remembers the times that I broke her heart or just did
Mm-hmm.
whatever the fuck and that pissed her off, you know. But I promised her, have all the tantrums you want. I understand that. It's just don't leave, don't leave, and I promise you, I will be your Prince Charming. I got 75 out of 100 years of possible living. I got, I'm gonna do my fucking damnedest to make sure that that woman is the happiest woman in the world. That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's freaking amazing. Well, yeah, that whole the growing up aspect of it, you know. Hmm. Well, of course, there's that point where you think, like I used to think, like, I'm the man, blah 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 blah, and then
Mm-hmm.
the the work starts, and after
Um,
the work starts, luckily my wife met me after I had done a pretty extensive amount of work, and even like I tell her who I used to be and stuff that I used to do, and she was like, "Oh gosh," she was like, "Yeah," she's like, "We would have never dated." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you know." I don't
yeah,
think I would have dated me either, but that's the thing. Like I was kind of a piece of crap for a long time, and that's just to be able to say that about yourself and not even flinch is a pretty big deal because a lot of people live in denial. And there's one of the talks that Jordan Peterson did. He talks about slaying the dragon. And he's like, if you go in there and kill the dragon when it's a baby, and you go in the cave and you fight that demon and get rid of it before it becomes a freaking unbearable monster. Because if you just stick it in the dark and act like it's not there and leave it in its little cave, it doesn't stop growing. And you think of it like another explanation of it is like a tax debt. That thing is going to keep on accruing interest and growing and growing and growing. It doesn't go away just because you can't see it, just because you ignore it, just because you act like it's not there. Your issues are still going to be your issues until you address them. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm okay the way I am. So society's telling you that you're
your
okay.
issues. Listen, keyword. Repeat that. Your issues are gonna be your issues until you address them.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck, dude.
It's not going to go away.
It's
And
not. It's not. It's not. But we have this fucking mentality of can't see me, right? Can't see me. If I don't,
John Cena, baby.
if I can't, if you can't see me, it's not real. You can't see me, right? So I can do anything I want
Mm-hmm.
and not have any fucking judgments. It's all
Yeah.
about vibrations. It's all
Yeah,
about,
karma does come. Yeah.
listen, the world, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't care if I say it every single one of them, but the universe doesn't give you what you're looking for. The universe gives you what you need.
Mm.
So I believe it took her 25 years to break my cycle, my curse,
Mm.
right? I believe I was programmed to a certain extent that it took her 25 fucking years, and it could have gone even more if I hadn't started searching. Right? Because once I started searching, like she kept going, kept going. She was right there. She was right there. I didn't like that. Told you I didn't like that. Told you, God damn it, I didn't like, 25 years, dude, 25 years. Right? And then all of a sudden I go, whoa, I did that? Like boom, like like I did that? No, I couldn't have done that. Yep, you did. Wow. That wasn't nice. No, it wasn't. Wow. What else did I do? You really want to go there? Yep. Hold on tight. And then I went on this roller coaster of life and just started going. And then that's also when I met Ego. I met Ego. Me and him, we had a really great conversation. And now, remember how they say tame the beast? He's there, and I know he's there. The grouch, the grizzly bear, that tiger, that lion, that fucking that just like rancid, just death looking fucking wolf with his fucking beady eyes. He's there. That dragon, he's there. But right now, they're under a comfort of fucking love. Just don't wake them up. Because if you do, you just gotta. Oh, so I think that's gonna be my next part. See how long I can tame this motherfucker for. Because right now he's there, but I'm still under the surface. I'm just barely breaking surface. I'm just But it's a daily thing. It's a daily attribute. You know how many times like before I would just like bark and then go, I shouldn't have said that. Well, now it's more on the conversations parts, like my wife she'll say something and I'm like, 15 minutes later, I'll come back with an answer. She's like, you left me talking by myself. I said, I had to think of something to say because if I would have just answered the first thing that came to my fucking mind, I promise you wouldn't be here right now. So, we
talked about this before. It was like, you're like, you were playing chess in your brain right there before you opened your mouth. Because like, I'll sit there and I'll just look at her and I was like, she'll give me the look like, what, you're not going to say nothing? It's like, I'm just going to continue this conversation in my head and see where it's going to take me before I go ahead and slaughter her. Like, again, like, nobody needs to defeat their wife in a conversation. And I think if you can get past that ego part right there, like, you don't have to win. Like, what are you talking about? Like, if you decide that you can have conversations and grow together and you don't have to freaking argue and fight and defeat each other and I gotta win. You get to go through life with your wife running around defeated. Like why? What are you trying to do? And when I realized that, my eyes opened to that. Now I'm just like, oh, okay. And she's like, and then she finally figured out. She's like, oh, so when you just look at me, she's like, you're literally running through what you were gonna say and how it's gonna. Like, yeah, 100%. Because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And I don't know if your wife's like mine or like she don't forget nothing. Like
nothing, dude, nothing. 27 years, she knows exactly what color underwear was the very first time that I went to the bathroom when I took her out to a date, like McDonald's. I was like, come on. I don't know anything, dude. Listen, I don't even think I wore underwear yesterday. I don't know what, you know what I mean? It's like I write shit down. I forget. I talk to you and 2 seconds later, like, where the fuck was I? Right. No, I don't know. I don't know. You're telling me that, jeez.
She don't forget nothing. So remember what you were wearing and how you said it.
And the scary part is that you can't, like, it's true. Like, you know that what she's saying and how she remembers. Yeah, that's right. You were sitting here and blah 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 blah, and this is exactly what you said. A B C D E F G, and I'm like, how? Because you say it with so certainty that she automatically planted it in my fucking mind.
Oh man,
that's the other problem. Because I don't even know if I said it or didn't, but now her NLP, has literally told my subconscious that I did.
It's it. And that's another thing is like when somebody remembers something, it doesn't even matter if it happens and they believe it. So, and they have that feeling that's attached to it. So you might not have even said it exactly the way that you think that, or that they think you said it, but they still have that same feeling. And that's what's going to be stuck in there and lodged. And that's why she remembers everything, because she's an emotional being. And so
extremely.
when you attach an emotion to something, it just like it locks in and doesn't go anywhere. Because a lot of people can remember exactly how they felt when somebody did X.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Well, I think Joe, it always, like you said, remember Oral Nightingale, what the mind can achieve, the man can achieve. What the mind can conceive, the man can achieve. But also, we tend to forget that we do make our own realities. You know, we do. We tend to forget that we do make our own realities. Listen, you said it yourself. And on my channel, I'm going to start posting shit from like 8, 9 years ago, you know,
Mm.
and everything, and most of the videos on my TikTok of that persona on my TikTok, it's like, dude, I really don't recognize that person. I don't
Mm.
I've said that to my wife. And the only way that I don't recognize her, and you met me afterwards, right? You know, when I was
Mm-hmm.
in the process of it, when I was, in the process of my changing, you met me right after. And that year that you met me, I was on a downward spiral.
Mm.
Promise you. I was I was king of the hill, but I was dying inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I was awoken, but in denial.
Mm.
Okay. I think that's the best way of saying it, because when you realize there is nobody else, it's not your parents' fault. You know, I spent my whole life saying, oh, well, in my household, this, and my dad did this to me, so it made me go this. I went this direction. It was my fault, regardless. I mean, it was my decisions and my actions, whether or not they were led blindly by other, you know, by some decisions of how I was treated when I was a child. It was still ultimately mine. It was
Mm-hmm.
still
How are you going to
ultimately,
respond?
yeah. So, and that's why I think now I focus more on I focus more now on just, I've learned to look for my best version of myself. That's basically it. That's
Mm.
basically it. I've learned to look and find my best version of myself. I had a conversation with my daughter last night, and it was beautiful, because it's one of the few times me and her are so, and I was able to confide in her, and I told her this. We are so much alike that I'm so scared for her, because it took me 43 years to wake up, and I'm 46 now. So it took me 43 years to wake up. I don't want her to take that long. I don't want her to suffer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she, I can see her soul, you know. So I told her, I was like, and I confided in her, and I told her certain things about how, um, and how she should approach life, or how she, think, how I even asked for forgiveness. Hey, but I am so sorry. I know I fucked you up somehow. You know what I mean? I know I
Yeah.
fucked you up somehow, but I'm here to correct it, whatever which way. And it was just, that whole conversation there was just so beautiful, and so that she heard me. Not only did she hear me, she felt me. So now I know that just slowly she's trying to wake up, to be more self-conscious, because if we learn, literally, if we just think about how our neighbor thinks before before you turn around and go, you know, before you honk that horn and go, hey, get the fuck out of the way. Just, hey, just give yourself 2 seconds. Just ask yourself, I wonder what he's doing. That's it. And then let yourself answer. If you see that it's nothing, hey, bud, can I get through?
Mm-hmm.
But just put yourself in their perspective. Just try, and you'll realize so much more, so much more, so much more. And it's all waves. It's all energy, right? You're throwing blessings around. That's why I think America is the way it is, and why it's going down, because we're losing our home values. We're losing the right to. We're losing so many things. I think values. I think it's the most important part. I don't see homes with values anymore. I don't see, everything has to do with, what can you do for me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Personal responsibility and core values are two of the things that are very elusive right now. And that is the reason why we are where we are. And this is a couple of years ago now, probably 3, 4 years ago. Honestly, I can't even remember when it happened. But oh, yeah, it was a long time ago. I was still driving for All Star then, and there was a ice storm in Texas where the power lines went down and they lost power and all this other stuff, and some people died. And how the power companies needed to be held responsible for the deaths of the people, like, and it was really sad because it was like kids that went out to play in the snow, and then they went inside and their parents put them under blankets and let them go to bed, and they died of hypothermia. And she was very emotional about it. And I was like, that is a tragedy. It's very unfortunate, but how on earth is that the power company's fault? And she's like, well, their infrastructure, blah blah. I was like, no, no. It's like, you're not gonna like this, but that's the parents' fault. And she like blew up, and she's like, yeah, I can't believe you'd say something about that, blah blah. She's like, what if it happened to your niece and nephew, and I tell you that it was your fault? No, it's like, when you have something where you're responsible for that child's ignorance and being able to take care of them, well, it was like, it's literally you. It stops right there. It was like, well, not everybody knows what you and your father know about hypothermia. It's like, yeah, that's not really a response to relieve you of your responsibility in that era, like, especially in the information age. Like, you can learn anything in your hand. So, like, there has to be a certain amount of personal responsibility in every aspect of your life. Well, it was like, because a lot of those times there are life and death situations, and you can't just pass the buck. Now, if we start moving further outside of that core like survival stuff, and then we start looking at our emotions and all the other stuff around it, like, personal responsibility is going to keep on going and moving, along with accountability and everything that's attached to it. And if we can't take care of it there, how are we supposed to get it into the grand scheme of things? Look at society and the way it's going. So remember that how you do anything is how you do everything. Well, yeah. So it's just a habit, like everything else. So you can develop that habit of personal responsibility, then you can change the people around you. When you change the people around you, then it just is going to keep on ripple effect. But if we have the little culture over here where personal responsibility, they're like, no, it's your fault, and they're never going to change. And that's the way the society is going to keep on going until we do something about it. And yeah, like, the only answer is to change the people around you, and keep on like making that impact. Because if you don't make the impact, like, he's like,
I couldn't agree more. I remember one time. There's. I remember. I'm not going to say any names, but I'm not going to even say if it's family or not, because I don't want anybody to go, oh my god, he can't talking about me.
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to edit out the.
You know what I mean? Eventually, yeah, we'll leave it up there. But what I'm saying, it's like, well, it's like Yeah, I had a conversation like that one time with somebody, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not in a position where I am where I should be because my dad couldn't pay for my college, and I was like, your dad don't got to do dick.
Right.
It's you. It's you. You're not in the position where you want to be because you aren't ready. That's it. It's not because of
Mhm.
your fucking dad. It's because you. You know what I mean? So it pisses me off because I've known about, like, for example, I like that pisses me off because that part I've known forever.
Mhm.
That part I've known forever. I knew it always had to be me. But for other things, I was blind. For other things, I was acting unconsciously. And it was not
Self
my
sabotage.
best, and it was not my best version. Yeah. And I didn't understand that. Why? And then, and I noticed that there's certain things that we do, like simple pleasures of life. I get an example. Why is it? You're going to laugh. Maybe it's my own self sabotage. Listen to this. So if I really want a Coca-Cola, ice cold, just taste the sip. You know what I mean? Like, well, if I drink it and gush it and then spit it out, I should be fine. Right? You know what I mean? It's like I'll catch myself thinking certain things of simple pleasures
Hmm.
when I know for a fact it's not what I really need. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
why am I thinking on how to drink a Coke without drinking a Coke? It just means that I should not really drink that fucking Coke, you know? So, but we have a tendency of just like, it's just a little bit. So, guess what? I break my rule. I taste it. It's fucking amazing. Okay. And then something happens. I don't know, whatever. I'll stub my toe. You know what I mean? Something happens, and it's kind of like life going, fucking, I told you not to do it. You know what I mean? I swear to God, it happens to me. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I promise you, that shit happens to me. It could be so insignificant, but I catch myself thinking about it like I know I shouldn't do it. It's not gonna be any, it's my cheat day, or I'll make up a cheat day, or something like that, or just something that I can't fathom of normally doing,
Mhm.
and but it's something I used to enjoy or do whatever, and then I'll give myself that little treat, and then I promise you, for some reason, everything conspides into going bam, 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 bam. That's all I could think about. I shouldn't have had that fucking sip.
Mm.
I don't know why. I don't know why. But
Because your
I
mentality
don't,
towards
probably.
that's all it is. You're the attraction guy. If your mentality is it's a guilty pleasure, like you're gonna attract the chaos and the correction uh, by your own definition. But if you're doing it, because I had a Coke this past Friday. I ain't had a Coke in I don't know how long. I was like, oh wow, this is phenomenal. Like it's crazy. I what? Like I understand why people drink this all the time. You want another one? No, absolutely not. I'll be cramped
Yeah,
up. Water.
right? I'll give you a one. Yo, listen to me. I don't know how, but I must have been so dehydrated or so fucked up when I got home the other day that my wife, first thing she said to me, she goes, "Are you hungry?" Whatever. And she goes, "Here, here." I said, "I'm not doing anything." She goes, "Do you want a soup?" And I'm like, I'll take a little bit of the soup. She didn't tell me it was egg drop soup from the fucking Chinese place, down the corner. And I looked at it and I was like, first thing I said, "How old is that?" She goes, "No, no, no, that's from this morning, last night, whatever." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like less than a day old. And I was like, okay, cool. As soon as my tongue touched the spoon, I felt a spurge of energy as if my body was absorbing and all the salt on that spoon was jumping up into my palate. And I said, "Ugh, I shouldn't eat this." That's
Wow.
exactly what I said. Listen to me. Ugh, I shouldn't eat this. And then I said to myself, maybe you should because you really felt it. Like I'm telling you, it zinged through my whole entire body. It was insane. And I'm like, either A, I really I need it because,
Mm-hmm.
or B, this is so bad for, you know what I mean? And then I said, wait, I've been sweating my ass off. I really haven't been eating very well. I have been having one meal a day. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm just low on minerals. You know, maybe I'm just low on minerals. What time is it? I don't know. So and that's what I thought. So I ended up drinking it, and the second one wasn't as strong, and that's when I said, "No, it's my body was so used to eating clean that immediately that was its way of fucking going. Don't eat it.
That's
Don't eat
poison.
it. Don't eat it." And it was crazy. It was crazy. Like you said, it was so amazing. Oh, listen, if it's too good to be true, it is.
Yeah. It's delicious. You want to know? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, get that out of here.
Uh,